Hartson, everybody. General Hartson is in the studio. Okay.
Hey,
great to have you here, Allison.
Good to be back.
Yep. So Allison Hartson running for Senate in California.
U.S. Senate.
That's right.
Yep.
Important distinction.
Yep.
Oh, we'll talk about what some folks are calling your supporters. Now, that'll be interesting. Okay.
I'm trying to guess it.
Okay. So, running against Dianne Feinstein. Feinstein keeps getting herself in controversy after controversy. We'll get to that in a little bit. But first, we have an exciting announcement. We're going to do a fun campaign. We, normally try to raise money, and we have, and you should definitely do that too. JustDemocrats.com/Allison. Okay. But tonight, we're launching a campaign to raise what, Allison?
To raise volunteers.
Huh. Interesting.
We're going to raise volunteers.
Okay.
Yes.
So, how many volunteers do you have right now?
700.
Wrong, 761.
Yes.
You started with 700 when you started this campaign. It's at 761. Our goal for now is apparently, as I see on the screen there, 2,000 volunteers. By the way, go to AllisonHartson.com/now, okay? Because we got to have the fierce urgency of now. And volunteer for Allison if you're in the state of California, okay? Because the thesis is, and correct me where I'm wrong here, Allison, is that perhaps our warriors can overcome their money advantage.
That is the plan. We've seen that happen in races just last year in 2016 as well. We know we can do that. Boots on the ground. We have more people than they have money. It's just a matter of taking action. And what's really nice is that you don't have to be experienced and you don't have to have a lot of time. So if you don't have to have money, experience, or time, and we can still win somehow.
No, but it's true. So I volunteered for Allison, so I guess I'm 701 because we started the campaign at 700 and then I went and volunteered. First of all, easy peasy. So you enter like 3 things in about 5 seconds. If I can do it, you guys can do it immediately, okay? Too easy. But what I liked was after you volunteer, you get a win immediately. You're asked, this is good idea, you're asked to share Allison's Facebook page and Twitter page and follow her. Well, that's already helpful because that's helps spread the word. And then what happens after that, Allison?
And then after that, you are asked to attend an event. That is one option. So it's so easy to find an event on the website now. We also make it easy to send you an email. So you just click on a link and it's all right there at your fingertips.
Yeah, I want to propose an amendment here, which is just either go to one event or knock on one door or make one phone call. And then we'll worry about the rest later. Okay, just do one. Just do one.
You can call from home too.
You can call from home, which means you don't have to be in California to be one of Hartson's heroes.
You don't have to like being with people in person.
That's what it is. Hartson's heroes.
Okay, Hartson's heroes is awesome.
Right?
Okay.
Good.
That's what friends are calling. We'll get to what the critics are calling in a second.
Oh God.
Okay.
But yeah, like you said, one door, one event, you might find that you really like it. Like I've worked on a few campaigns before and I met great people. Like, aside from the whole trying to get the right people in office, there's the social element and all that. Like this is a great thing to actually take ownership of the change that you want to see in government.
It's so true. There are countless people who got started with Wolfpack. For those who don't know, I was a national director with Wolfpack to get big money out of politics. And so with that organization, there were people who signed up who, again, had no experience whatsoever, who were incredibly nervous. And now some of them are running for office.
Oh, wow.
Some of them have gone on to be leaders in their community, to lead like an Our Revolution chapter. So people get really inspired saying, okay, fine, I'll try it. And then they get addicted. It's a good addiction.
So I interviewed a candidate in Nevada who was a Wolfpack volunteer who's now running for office.
Yeah.
And then there's a guy named Brent Welder. And I just realized this. Brent must have worked under you because you were the national director.
Yep.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
And how badass would it be if Allison is the US Senator from California and Brent Welder is a congressman from California? I believe I said when I launched it in 2011 that they're not coming for us, that we're coming for them.
You did say that.
Imagine getting the press release that you two just put forward legislation in the Senate and the House.
Yeah.
Sponsoring.
Co-sponsors Senator Hartson and Congressman Welder.
Yeah.
How good does that sound? So, Brent Welder leading by 7 points in his race in Kansas 3rd District, TYTKansas.com. Allison, Feinstein's in a world of trouble. She lost the California Democratic Party vote, so she will not be getting the endorsement of the California Democratic Party. That's nearly unprecedented for an incumbent.
I want to talk about how that really happened too, which the press has not been covering.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, go for it.
Well, so Dianne Feinstein was expected, of course, to get the endorsement of the California Democratic Party. And she lost because true progressives, Bernie-crats, they have basically infiltrated the California Democratic Party and become delegates in 2016, working to learn how the bureaucracy of getting involved actually works. They have spent the last 2 years working through this, figuring it out, and then last weekend at the California Democratic Party convention, they worked overtime to block that endorsement. And they were able to do it with just a few percentage points, but every inch matters when we are fighting for what we are.
Well, so that leads me to the kind of nickname that the Democratic Party establishment has given to Bernie Sanders supporters and your supporters. What did they call them?
Are you talking about the inconsequential?
Yes.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Inconsequential.
Inconsequential and cute. So there have been.
I want to beat him so bad.
What is wrong with cute?
I know. That's what I said. I'm like, let's show them how cute we are. There have been a few people, different, totally separate conversations within the party who have talked about how true progressives, and I right now I use the word true progressive to distinguish between this word progressive that Democrats are just throwing around right now because it works for the base. And so they have said to me on several occasions, talking about progressives as being inconsequential. They're cute. They say, you know, what they're doing right now inside of the Democratic Party, it's cute. It's inconsequential, but it's cute. First of all, that's a compliment, I think, because it means that they feel threatened. They know that we are not backing down. It's incredibly condescending and offensive, of course, but they're feeling it. They're feeling the heat. And then we proved it, and really the progressive delegates specifically, by being able to block that endorsement from the all-powerful Dianne Feinstein. That's incredible.
So I have to confess that I forgot that people can volunteer from all across the country to make calls for you. So that 2,000 goal, we're gonna blow that out of the water. We might hit that tonight, and then we're gonna have to set it much, much higher. Okay, so can I see AllisonHartson.com/now one more time? I wanna see what we're up to. So.
It may not automatically.
It doesn't necessarily.
Yeah, it may not
refresh.
automatically go up right now.
Oh, it might even take 24 hours. Okay, then let's stop showing it for now. But we'll come back to it tomorrow, and I'll show you what the results are tomorrow, because I think that's really important.
Yeah.
But you know, in terms of the inconsequentials, right?
Yeah.
Well, if they're so inconsequential, why did Dianne Feinstein not get the endorsement?
Exactly.
Okay, so I think they might have misunderstood what's going on. But then there's point number 2, which is that, so Dianne Feinstein is deeply conservative. You know, she voted for Bush's tax cuts, voted for Bush's Iraq war, earlier voted to get rid of the estate tax, she's for the death penalty, I mean, on and on and on. So she has disdain for the base and has often run campaigns, political campaigns against her base to get Republican votes. There are others in the race who are trying to play to the base and win the base over. Allison is the base, right? There's a huge, huge difference. And that's why I talk about it on the show all the time. We don't have to convince Allison Hartson to do the right thing. She already believes the same thing we believe. So wouldn't it be amazing if we just had a representatives that represented us? So, like for those people who don't know, just list your priorities.
Medicare for all.
But wait, let me convince you that Medicare for all is the right thing to do. Okay.
Yeah, right. No, yeah, let's move on to all of the other issues that we need to be fighting for at the same time, right? I know, instead of getting caught up for years just talking about one issue at a time. We've got Medicare for all, higher wages for all, $15 minimum wage tied to inflation, college for all, preschool for all. We need to really divest from our bloated military budget and instead invest in education, remove our dependency on the fossil fuel industry and instead invest in clean energy, 100% renewable energy. There's a number of things that we need to do, fighting to protect and strengthen our unions, our labor force. This strike that we just saw, I think, is it officially ended now with the teachers in West Virginia? Has been really inspiring and pretty incredible, and so we need to keep that kind of strength in our working class moving forward.
Yeah, but can I get you to $15 minimum wage?
Yeah.
Oh, you're already there?
Yeah, I would actually probably push beyond that because I have a feeling by the time we actually get it, a living wage is going to be higher than $15.
Right, and in all seriousness, so you talk about a bloated military budget, but a lot of times the Republicans will brag and Dianne Feinstein will brag, but we have to help the military. We have to support the troops.
Yeah.
But is the money, all the money, they just added what, over $100 billion more than the budget used to be?
Yeah.
It's now over $700 billion. Do they give that to the troops?
Right, exactly. And then meanwhile, the pay for the troops is measly, and
Do
then
you support higher wages for the troops? No, I'm serious.
Of course, higher wages for the troops. I think you said the numbers last time I was on here, what they actually get paid when all is said and done.
Yeah, I think that the people that are coming in at the lowest level, at the starting level in the military, start at $19,000 a year.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started in media, I had a job for $24,000 a year. And I was like, I don't know how I'm supposed to survive. And I got this like minuscule studio apartment.
Right.
I was so proud when I got a futon. But here are our troops sacrificing their lives for us. They don't get any of that money. It goes to the defense contractors. If we really supported
the troops, we would be spending money on our actual soldiers, making sure they really have what exactly it is that they need. And then when they return home, fully supporting our vets to be able to transition back into life with fully covered health care, with education, with a jobs guarantee program. That's what our vets need. Speaking of vets, do you remember there was a volunteer that we talked about last time I was here? His name was Jerry Perez.
Yeah.
He is a military vet and we just hired him.
Oh, look at that. Wait a minute, is this thing on? Hold on.
Yeah.
So I remember talking about Jerry and he's in a part of California and I said, Diane, sorry, that part's gone. Jerry's on the beat. So what'd you hire him as?
He's our field director, one of our field directors. And so what he does specifically is when you go to sign up to volunteer online, then he helps you to be able to find out exactly how to attend an event, specifically host an event, make sure you have all of the resources that you need, that everybody's fully supported. And when we go and knock on doors, the thing is, there's a system behind it all to make sure that we are being incredibly strategic so that the voters are informed about the fact that they have a choice, because that's what the mainstream media is trying to make people not be aware of, that there is another choice and that there's a slew of choices. And so we are overcoming that by making sure that we're knocking on doors and calling voters, because everybody deserves to know what their options are.
No, guys, I just saw the future and it's wonderful.
And it's bright.
Yeah, so let me explain a couple of things that are gonna happen that are great. Number one, some of you are gonna volunteer for Allison. And again, you don't have to be in California, because you can make calls into California to let people know about the real progressive candidate in the race. So a lot of you will get to meet the legendary Jerry Perez, right? Some of you will, whether you're doing the house parties or whatever, or maybe on the phone. And somebody will call you after you volunteer, and at one point somebody will pick up the phone and go, hi, this is Jerry. You're like, you're Jerry Perez.
I heard about you.
But in all seriousness, all these people who were volunteers and then now you've hired how many people?
6.
6 people. You know why? It's a Senate campaign. It's serious, which by the way requires resources. So can you guys pull up justicedemocrats.com/Allison? Now we've raised a decent amount of money, but Dianne Feinstein is going to have about $10 million, we think.
Yeah, the average U.S. Senate race costs $10 million. And by the way, the link I think is jdems.us/Allison.
You could use either.
Oh, you can? Okay,
yes,
good.
All that / stuff confuses me. I'm a simple man. So justdemocrats.com/Allison. And the more money she has, the more people she can hire, and the more volunteers we can have.
Yeah, that's right. And so there's so much that goes into running a campaign, and the idea is to make things as easy and simple for people as possible, because we know, of course, that everybody is working full time, going to school full time, doing everything they can just to keep up with politics. And so to get involved, as I know so many people want to, but to just even know, how do I even start? What do I even do? The idea as an organizer is to make it as simple as possible, and that's what we do.
Yeah, so I said I had a vision of the future, right? So some of you guys, Tony Jerry, is a fun, small part of that. The real deal is, the 2,000 goal is, you gotta be crazy, Doug. We're gonna blow past that. You guys sign up now, sign up now. One call, all you gotta do is one call. You don't even have to do the call. You get sign up and you will get, you share on Facebook and Twitter, you're already helping. And every once in a while, they'll send you emails saying, hey, can you share this post? And that helps a lot. You'd be surprised at how much it helps. It spreads the message out, the true progressive message out. But I just realized all across the country, people can volunteer. You're gonna have an army of, I'm gonna say it, 20,000 people.
Every one of them cuter than the last.
So imagine, and Feinstein gets hit with an army of 20,000 progressives, and she goes, what in the world just happened to me? Okay, well, Hartson's about to happen to you. Okay, so become a Hartson hero right now, AllisonHartson.com/now. Can I see justdemocrats.com/Allison? This is how you donate. By the way, if you're watching this later, we're doing live election coverage on Tuesday night, but if you're watching later on YouTube, all the links are in the description box below and on Facebook in the comment section. Do we have it pulled up? No, that's the volunteers.
Holding steady.
Okay, that's.
We will definitely.
No, that
we'll
one,
make sure that's updated.
Well, that thermometer is a little slower. It looks fancy, okay, but it's a little slower. By the way, now I'm obsessed. I can't wait there for a fresh shot tomorrow to see if we already hit 2,000.
I love that thermometer is like doubly deceptive. It doesn't update, but it continually implies that it's updating and then doesn't update.
That is the only thing that Allison will be deceptive about. Okay. Unlike other politicians. By the way, okay, let's note here a couple of things. Your original.
That one does automatically update, by the way.
Yes. So that's $259,000, which ain't nothing to sneeze at, and hence why Allison's been able to hire 6 people. But look, the threshold that the media uses, which is maddening, but it is what it is $500,000 to quote unquote take you seriously. Now, who cares? Well, the reason it matters is if they write about Allison, then the message gets out to more and more people. If they talk about Allison Hartson's campaign, the message gets to more and more people. But much more importantly, you get to 500,000, you hire more people. You have more people to coordinate, volunteers, and do all the other important parts of the campaign.
By the way, us pulling this off with $500,000 will be unheard of. Yeah. But if that will show like that is grassroots.
But if you get to 500,000, Allison, you're gonna win. No, and so guys, we're not unrealistic here. We're incredibly practical, and I say we from time to time, and I want to be super clear about this. I said it on the day we announced, but I'll say it again here. I'm an informal campaign advisor to Allison. I'm not hiding that. You can tell I'm a huge fan. I hired her to be the national director of Wolfpack because she killed it. She organized over 30,000 people for Wolfpack. So this 20,000 is actually undershooting a little bit when we get to 20,000 for California for this race. And so the reason that I'm saying we're being practical is that California has a runoff. So you don't have to beat Feinstein the first time around. You just have to make sure that you get in the top 2. And if you get in the top 2, and then you've got 84-year-old Dianne Feinstein, nothing wrong with her age, it's just that she hasn't changed in 50 years. She's still running the same kind of conservative politics she did 50 years ago. and she cannot change. She's a fossil. She's stuck in time, and her, in her arrogant, overconfident way, calling all progressives inconsequential and cute, etc., versus a fired up progressive. I'm telling you guys, it's not. Look, I know people are going to think it's an outrageous statement, but by the time you get to the general election, if it's you versus Feinstein in the runoff, I don't even think it's going to be close. I think you're going to crush her, but we got to get in the runoff. And if you're gonna get in the runoff, you need that money, you need those volunteers. Volunteer army is the most important thing.
That's exactly right, because this leg right now up to June 5th is the most important. A lot of people, because a lot of people are trying to still understand like general versus the primary election, which by the way, on my website, go to my website and I explain the difference between the primary and general, why it's so important to vote in the primary. But some people I talk to say, I can't wait to vote for you in November. Well, you can't vote for me in November if you don't vote for me on June 5th.
You got to get out there and ask for early mail-in ballots too.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So this really is the most important stretch right now. And one thing I want to say too before I forget is we have our resources in. I'm wearing one of our shirts. Can you see it?
Oh yeah.
So check this out. So this is a painting that one of our supporters did. He's an artist and a musician, and he painted a couple amazing pictures. And then our graphic designer put it together in a shirt. And so this is one of our designs. And we're gonna have a store on the website in about a week where you can go and buy resources. It'll help advertise. It'll also help us to fundraise the money that we need. So we have all kinds of stuff coming in, stickers, bumper stickers, you name it.
And then we'll know you're one of Hartson's heroes. One more thing here, and this is gonna be amusing. So you have all these volunteers and they're already people powered. They got the graphics, they're making shirts, etc. Are you you're gonna take them eventually? I don't know if it's right now, but start to break them down into like how they can help other than just calling and volunteering?
Yes, oh yeah. If you can't or don't want to call or knock on doors, you can help in a number of ways like this guy did. His name's Graham Richards, and he painted a picture that's now one of our logos. Somebody else made that video that I think most people have seen at this point who watched your show. They just kind of volunteered, put this video together and sent it my way. You can help us to text people. You name it. I have somebody who reached out to me and asked if he could make a song about the campaign. I'm like, you don't need to ask, just do it.
Yeah.
Have fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so guys, just do the simple thing first. Go AllisonArson.com/now and say yes on Facebook and Twitter, follow her, and then see if you can make a call or do, and then make shirts, make songs, make whatever you want, okay, and then get involved in the fight. But the amusing thing is, Allison, how can they volunteer for Dianne Feinstein?
I still haven't figured it out.
So now,
I've tried to volunteer.
No, this is really funny, okay? And it's funny on two fronts. So no one would ever talk about volunteering, how to volunteer for their opponent. But Allison, you went on the website, Feinstein's website. Is there a place where you can volunteer?
I haven't found it, and it also took me. I actually didn't find her website because I was trying to find it, digging and digging and digging, and finally somebody was like, "Oh, here it is." It was like 17 pages in or something in Google. I don't know. It was pretty difficult to find. Right. Weird. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because she thinks I have all the money. I don't need any inconsequential people. You can't volunteer for her. That's amazing. Maybe if you're rich and you're connected, you could do an internship or something. I once went to Hillary Clinton's headquarters and it was filled with people in excellent clothing doing internships, right?
Well, I don't even think they would even know what to do with volunteers, because organizing and working with volunteers really takes a lot. There's a lot that goes into it. And when I was working with Wolfpack, and I spoke to a number of legislators who would tell me that they would prefer to just take money because it's easier than taking volunteers and working with volunteers. Yeah. Just do money and just do establishment media, and you don't have to do all of the organizing that goes into it.
And in a lot of cases, you don't then have to get into office and do the work of being a politician because you lose the election. It's way more efficient. You save years of labor.
But so they wouldn't know.
But those guys who are hooked on corporate cash, they're like, people are annoying. We have to deal with them. You know, you're supposed to be their representative.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that part.
Yeah.
So, all right.
I'd much rather spend my time seeking volunteers than seeking corporate money. That is for sure.
Exactly. And so, by the way, the second amusing part of that is that because we had this discussion, Dianne Feinstein will almost certainly get a bump up on our website because people will now start searching for it, like to try to find it. And there's going to be a moment, I'm almost certain of this, at Feinstein headquarters tomorrow morning, where a staffer goes up to the campaign manager or whatever and goes, "That's really weird. Last night we got this bump up in our numbers on the website. I don't even know how people found it."
And Feinstein says, "What's a website?"
Who's responsible for them finding this website?
Come on, 20,000, 2,000 gold. That is shao, man. 20,000 in Allison Hartson's army, and we take California. I cannot imagine how great that is going to feel on election night if I say, now, the new senator from California, Allison Hartson.
I'm still practicing my wave.
All right, Allison, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.